Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, we are meeting again for the construction engineering management session. Okay, so we have already had the discussion regarding the CPM method, that is the critical path method. In the last 3 or 4 sessions, we had solved the numericals regarding that. Okay, and I think for up to now, you are clear with that method and what is the use of that particular method. Okay, now before moving on to the next method, which is the PERT method, that is PERT method, can anyone tell me on which type of the projects can I use CPM method? All of you have learned the CPM method, you have used it in the case of the numericals. So now can anyone give me a practical example where I can use the CPM method? You can unmute and speak, or you can write on the chat box. Okay, I have given you the rights to unmute. Okay, please make the session interactive, because otherwise it will be only one person, that is me, that is speaking, and the rest of you are not participating. So can anyone tell me which are the projects on which I should use CPM method and why? Yes, Khushi, can you tell me? I think you are clear with the method of CPM method. Okay, so on which type of the project should I use that? Okay, for smaller works. Okay, why for smaller works? Can you tell me that? What is the reason behind that? Why should I use it for smaller works and why not for all the types of the work? What is the peculiar thing that suggested you that it should be used for the smaller works? Okay, it is less complicated. So if it is less complicated, then I should use it for the complex project also, no? For smaller works, if I wanted to use a method, I already have bar chart method. Bar chart is the most user friendly method, but it has certain limitations with respect to the complexity of the work. Okay, so if small work is there where you have only 40-50 activities, then I should say that you should use only bar chart, because that is very easy to understand, as well as it is much rather easier to comprehend for anyone. Okay, if I am making the bar chart and if I am appointing any person on the site to see to it, then bar chart will be the one chart that everyone will be able to make out that okay, after this activity this one will start and this activity will be done after 2 or 3 days. Okay, but what is the peculiar thing about the CPM method, that it should be used for a particular type of the work, and for certain limitations I have to use some other method. Okay, so if nobody knows, then I will tell you. Okay, now CPM method, in CPM method what did we do? We were given the time estimate. Okay, suppose in the earlier example only, before 1 hour we solved. Okay, A B C D E F G H I J K L, up to L we had the activities, and corresponding to each activity we had a fixed time duration. Okay, was it a fixed time duration or we had a range of time? We had a fixed time duration corresponding to the activities, right? Some activities had 4 days, one activity had 6 days, one activity had 8 days, but for each activity there was only one time duration. Okay, if you go to the site, okay, and if you analyze an activity, can you find out the duration? Yes, I can predict that this activity will take only 8 days. Okay, so such type of the approach is called as a deterministic approach. Okay, what is it called? Deterministic approach, where I can determine the time period of any particular activity. Okay, so suppose, just consider the example of a residential building. Okay, now suppose you are doing a residential building work. Okay, and on the first floor you are constructing a wall. Okay, so now whenever you are working in residential building, suppose you are making G plus 10. Okay, and on the first floor you are making a wall, constructing a wall. Okay, will the same wall be constructed on the second floor, third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor, and so on, or no? Will the same wall constructed on all the floors or not? Meaning to say, is the construction mirrored on the top floors or not? Yes or no? Whatever construction I do on the first floor, will it be similar or will it be mostly same on the second, third, fourth floor? Yes or no? Yes. Right. So Pratik is telling yes. So that means, suppose the construction of wall on the first floor is taking me 8 days, then the quantity of the work on the second, third, fourth floor will also be same. So that means when I prepare a schedule for the second floor, at that time also I can write down 8 days only, right? Same way, suppose I am concreting the slab of the first floor. Okay, so suppose it is taking me 5 days and the quantity is x meter cube, then the second floor slab will also be x meter cube and the quantity will be x meter cube and the days will be 4 days or 5 days, whatever. Okay, so this is called as a basically deterministic approach. Deterministic approach means I can decide or I can predict that this much amount of time will be taken. Okay, so in case of the residential building, where generally the repetitive works are used, repetitive works means on the upper floors there is a duplication of the activities of the ground floor, first floor, second floor. So this is called a repetitive work. So repetitive works always have a good inclination towards a CPM method because it is a deterministic approach. Now, is there any type of the project where you can say that I cannot decide the time? It might take 4 days, it might take 5 days, it might take 6 days. Is there any example of such activity? Because as I said, if there is a repetitive approach or if there is a repetitive design, or if I can easily predict that it is taking 8 days, then I said that is called a deterministic approach. Now, the second method, that is the PERT method. Okay, it is used in many different places, but in the case of the PERT method, I cannot decide that it will take specifically 8 days. Can you name any project like that where you cannot decide upon the time period? Any project where you cannot decide the time period of an activity, but yes, you can give the range of the time period that it might take between this and this time. Any idea? Okay, I'll give you an example. Suppose just consider the example of, let us say, a research project. Okay, suppose let us consider the example of research project, or let us say we consider the example of a defense or a missile project. Okay, so now this type of the projects are such that you do not have the enough data. Okay, enough data as in there are past works that are being carried out in that particular area, but it might be not necessary that those are the repetitive works. That is, whatever the work you are going to do is a repetitive work of the past work. Okay, so in that case, what might happen? Also, sometimes under the severe conditions, okay, you might not be able to predict that it will take exactly 6 days to finish this work. Okay, so in that case, what happens is we have a time range. Okay, time range as in it will take between 5 days to 15 days to complete this particular work. Okay, so that is called as a basically range of the activity period. Okay, so it might take 5 days, it might take 7, 9, 11, 13 or 15, but it will not be more than 15. So generally, whenever you are dealing with a PERT method, that is called as a probabilistic approach. Why probabilistic approach? Because it is dependent upon the probability of the completion. Okay, you do not have a deterministic approach. You cannot determine exactly that this will take this much time only. Whereas in case of CPM method, there was a fixed time period. Okay, so now as I told you that there are 3 time estimates, 3 time periods in the PERT method. So that is why on your screen you can see T, O, TM and TP. Okay, so what is the full form of this? These are the 3 durations for the PERT method. So TO means optimistic time. Okay, optimistic time, TP is pessimistic time, and TM is most likely time. So as I said, your range will be between 5 to 15. So in that case, the lowest value, that is 5, that is called optimistic time. TP is called as a pessimistic time, that is the highest value, and TM is the most likely time, that your time period is likely to be most likely at this particular point M. Okay, now again it is not compulsory that it should be equal to Tm only. Okay, but generally in most of the cases it will be very much near to the value of Tm. Okay, so got it? TP, that is pessimistic time, TM, that is most likely time, and TO, that is optimistic time. Okay, so now PERT method, it stands for program evaluation and review techniques. Okay, program evaluation and review techniques. Okay, I hope you are noting this because it is important. Now suppose I want to use that network oriented technique. Okay, so in the network oriented techniques, what we use to find out, we used to calculate the square brackets and the triangle brackets, right? Okay, what is a square bracket? What is it called? Can anyone tell me? What was the name of the square bracket? What was the name of the triangle bracket? Can anyone tell me quickly? Yes, what was the name of that? Latest time. Okay, very good. Latest time and the earliest time. What is latest time? Latest time means latest event time and earliest event time. So similarly, if I want to calculate the square brackets and triangle brackets in case of PERT method, then I require one time estimate out of these three, right? Okay, whenever you calculated the examples, okay, there was a specific time period, so you went on adding in case of the forward pass, and you went on subtracting in the case of the backward pass. So in this case, if you have three time estimate, then you cannot do that. You have to get only one time estimate. So to get the final time out of this three, we have a formula, and that is called TE, small TE. Okay, capital TE is square bracket, small te is the expected time in case of the PERT method. Okay, so the formula is TO plus 4 times TM plus TP divided by 6. Okay, so similar calculation is shown over here. Suppose TO is 2, TM is 4, TP is 6. So 2 plus 4 into 4 plus 6 divided by 6. So your TE, that is the expected time, is equal to 4. Okay, so this is how you have to calculate one time duration, that is the expected time from the two values that are given to you. Sorry, three values that are given to you. Okay, so T naught or TO plus 4TM plus TP divided by 6. That will give you the expected time in case of the PERT method. Now, if you want to write down the definition of optimistic time, then I'm dictating it. It is the shortest possible time. Why shortest? Because I told you it is a lower range. Okay, it is the shortest possible time in which an activity can be completed under ideal conditions. Okay, so ideal conditions means your work conditions are supreme, that you can finish the work at the most at a very faster speed. So at the very faster speed means it will be finished at the first instance. Okay, so time period or the shortest time in which an activity can be completed under ideal conditions is known as optimistic time. Okay, so basically ideal conditions means there should not be any problems or any difficult conditions to work upon. Okay, then pessimistic time is maximum time. Okay, now you can see that we first discussed the lowest range, now we are discussing the highest range. Now highest range is possible when the conditions are very abnormal, because otherwise you might finish the work anywhere in between this. Okay, so maximum time required to complete an activity is known as pessimistic time. It is the best time in which the activity has been completed under the abnormal conditions. What is abnormal conditions? Some climatic conditions, or let's say some fire hazards or some earthquake or floods or anything like that. So that is basically called as a highly unusual conditions, because that will not happen every day. Okay, but in certain circumstances it might happen. So that is called as a maximum time okay, or the activity that is completed under the abnormal conditions. Okay, and Tm, that is the most likely time, that is time required for completing the activity under normal conditions. Okay, normal conditions means simple conditions. Okay, so that is basically Tm. So Tm will always lie between To and Tp. Okay, so that is a standard thing that you should note down. Okay, so should I move on to the next part? Okay, you remember this formula, T is equal to To plus Tm, sorry, To plus 4Tm plus Tp divided by 6. So that you have to do for all the activities that are given to you. Okay, so PERT is following a probabilistic approach. The full forms are given over here. The formula is given over here. Now, two more things we need to calculate in this case of the PERT method. Okay, one more information that I want to share is, in case of the CPM, we used to find out EST, EFT, LFT, and LST. So these things are not available in case of the PERT method. Okay, PERT method do not include the calculation of this. Rather, it includes the calculation of standard deviation. Standard deviation, I think you have learned in your 8th and 9th standard mathematics, okay, which is denoted by sigma, and its square is called as a variance. Okay, so sigma formula is given as Tp minus T naught divided by 6. So this Tp minus T naught divided by 6. So again, standard deviation will be for all the activities, variance will be for all the activities. Okay, now in case of CPM method, how did we find the critical path? Can anyone tell me? Okay, how did we find the critical path in case of CPM method? Can anybody tell me? In the morning only we did it. Come on, tell me how to find out the critical path in case of CPM method. You can unmute and tell me both the ways. I would like to hear from you. Yes, Kamal, can you tell me? Okay, who is speaking? Anyone? Yes.
When total path is 0, float is 0,
Okay, the path
then connect
contains
that
all
all.
the values of total float, right?
Yes,
And what is the another method that we used first? Maximum days, right? Okay.
yes, maximum.
Now, as I told you that there is no calculation of EST, EFT, LFT, and LST in case of the PERT method. That means there is no question of total float, free float, interfering float, independent float in case of the PERT method. Okay, so there is nothing like that. Instead of that, instead of total float, we have a calculation called SLACK, SLACK, whose formula is triangle bracket, that is TL, that is latest event time, minus earliest event time, that is TE, that is a square bracket. Okay, and if it is giving out your value as 0, then that is the activity on the critical path. Okay, so a path found by this 0 value of the slack is termed as a critical path. And the first method that was there, that is calculation of all the days from all the path, that stands correct. But the second method that we calculated for the total float, okay, whichever activity has total float 0, you combine that path, that is your critical path. So that is not valid in case of the PERT method, but instead we have a slack where we deduct the triangle bracket minus square bracket, and if it is coming out to be 0, that activity can be there on the critical path. Okay, so that is the difference between the CPM and the PERT method. So okay, not all the activities with 0 slack will be on the critical path, but the path that is found by all such 0 values will be the critical path. Okay, it will be more clear with the example. Okay, so if your TL is less than TE, then your work is behind the schedule. That is, if your triangle bracket is less than square bracket, then your work is behind the schedule. And if TL is greater than TE, your work is ahead of the schedule. So these are the very two important parameters to judge any particular activity. Okay, because we have calculated this TL and TE for all the activities, so you can easily judge that. Okay, now before moving on to the numerical, let me just first of all discuss the difference between the CPM and the PERT technique. Okay, Salon is asking one question. 1, 2, 3 is, suppose activity is like this, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then at 2 it becomes 0, then both paths are critical. Okay, Saloni, see, whenever you just calculate the practical example, you will see that there will be one path where, at least one path where all the events will have zeros, like, okay, that will be the critical path. But suppose one another path by chance has some activity or some event with a zero slack, then you do not consider that. Why? Because critical path is there, not critical activity. Okay, so when there is a critical path, you need to have a continuous path starting from the first activity to the last activity. Okay, so if at all there is a path, then that is called as a critical activity. Okay, it will be much more clear with the help of the numericals when I solve it. Okay, so just wait for that. First let me just cover these differences. Okay, because in the past syllabus this question was one of the favorite questions of the GTU exam, that is differences between the CPM and the PERT method. Okay, so first differentiation is the full form, but you should not write the full form in the exam. That is not considered as a difference. Okay, you will not get the marks for this first one. Okay, the remaining you should write. Critical path method, program evaluation and review technique. Okay, CPM method is activity oriented method. Okay, that is why we calculated the EST, EFT, LFT, LST, total float, free float for the activities. PERT method is event oriented. That is why we are calculating the slack value with respect to the events. I told you that we are calculating TL minus TE. So where is TL? TL is for an event. It is not for an activity. Okay, so PERT method is event oriented method. Okay, in CPM method you have only one time estimate for all the activity. That is, A activity has 4 days, B activity has 6 days. So there is only one time estimate and that is accurate. Whereas in case of PERT method, we have 3 time estimate, that is TO, TM, TP. So in the earlier example I gave you that TO was 2, TM was 4, TP was 6. So these are 3 time estimates that are given to you. Out of that you have to find out one value and proceed in the numerical. Okay, so 3 time estimate are required in the PERT method. Okay, so CPM follows deterministic approach. Why? Because I know that A has 4 days only. Okay, so there is no cross checking or there is no issue with that. Whereas in this there is a probabilistic approach, so it might be 2 days, 4 days, or it might be 6 days, but the range is fixed. 2 to 6 is fixed. Okay, okay, now next is cost is a governing factor in case of CPM method. So this will be much clear in the next module. That is why cost, because cost optimization can be done in case of the CPM method, CPM network. Okay, what is cost optimization? It means cost crushing. Cost crushing means in order to reduce the days, I am going to reduce the I am going to increase the time frame also. Sorry, I am going to increase the cost aspect also. But my target should be to achieve the minimum time and to increase the cost at a minimum level. That means suppose currently 25 days are there, okay, for the activity, and your total cost is 5 lakh rupees. Okay, so now suppose if I reduce the days, that is, somebody tells me, project manager tells me that you have to finish this work, instead of 25 you have to finish in 20 days. Okay, so what comes to my mind, that I have to bring extra resources on the site. I might have to bring the extra labors on the site, or extra material or extra machinery on the site. So for that what will be required? Money will be required, right? So suppose if I reduce the duration by 2 days, correspondingly whatever the cost that is increasing, that I have to see. Okay, same way corresponding to decrease in 3 days, I have to see the cost. So at a minimum amount of time, what is minimum increase in the course that I have cost that I have to see. Okay, so that is called cost crushing. Okay, and time is a governing factor for the COT method. Critical path is defined by critical activities whose total float value is zero. Critical path is defined by critical activities whose slack value is zero. Okay, time estimates are given are more accurate. Time estimates are not accurate in case of the POT method. So that is why we require 3 time estimate. So in case of POT method, there is no compliability of that. Okay, it is very difficult to track, or it is very difficult to figure out the exact, or you can say the accurate details of the activity. Okay, and the last difference is it is used for the repetitive works, that is CPM method. What is repetitive works? I already gave you example at the start, that suppose first floor is there, second floor is there, then same design will be implemented on the seventh and the eighth floor. So that is called repetitive work. Okay, and also from the repetitive work, data from the past experience is available to us. Okay, so I know that earlier when I did this type of the work, it took me 3 days to do that. Okay, so now if I estimate 3 days, in most of the cases my 3 days would be the correct answer for the result of the work. Okay, whereas in case of the PERT method, it is used for the non-repetitive works. Okay, where the works are where there with no past experience. Okay, so suppose I'm going for any research project. Okay, so research when I'm going to do, because I don't know anything about that, right? So if you are going for a research project, you do not have any past data. Okay, same way for any defense project. Okay, whenever you are going for any defense project, the design will be different for all the different times. Okay, because if you have a same design, then it is a part of a leak in the plan. Okay, so that is why you have to have a different design of the project in each and every time. So in these circumstances, you do not have a particular data with you. Okay, whenever you have a data with you, it is very easy to comprehend that data. But if you do not have the data, then it will be very difficult to finish the work within the fixed time period that you want to do it. Okay, so generally it is used for R&D projects, defense projects. Okay, so these are the generally the examples of the CPM and the POT method. So it is a request that you just write down this very quickly, because this is one of the important questions from the JTU. Okay, so that you get full marks for this generally asks for 6 marks. Okay, so 6 marks, 3 differences over here and 4 differences over here. Okay, not the full form. Okay, so just quickly write down. Okay, so I hope it is over. Okay, so let me just move on to the introduction regarding the one of the numericals. Okay, what we need to calculate in the case of the part method, and what is the difference between the calculations over here with respect to the CPM method. Okay. Okay, you are writing. Okay, just okay, 1 minute I'll give you. Okay. Okay, so okay, so just remember this three formulas. Almost everything will be dependent upon the calculation of these three formulas. TE, that is expected time. Okay, capital TE is called earliest event occurrence time. Okay, small TE is called expected time of the activity. Okay, the standard deviation is also important, and V is equal to sigma square variance. Okay. Okay, so now you can see over here that the question is given to you that draw the network, standard deviation and variance of all activities and total duration you have to find out. Yes, you will get it. Don't worry. I'll provide it to you. Okay. Standard deviation and variance of all activities and total duration. TE and TL for all the events. That is, you have to find out the square and the triangle brackets. Variance and standard deviation of entire project of the critical path. Okay. So you have to find out these four things. Okay. Now I have added the question with the solution only, so you can see on the screen, because I think many students are not calculating it live along with me. So I added this in the PPT. So that was a waste of time, because whenever I asked the question, I did not get any answer. So basically, now you can just see this on your screen itself directly. Okay, so 1 2 1 3 2 4 3 4 4 5 and 3 5, these are the activities that are given to you. So you can see how the network is formed. 1 2 2 and 1 2 3 in this two opposite directions, and 2 2 4 and 3 2 4, that means it is joining like this. Then we have 3 to 5 and 4 to 5. So your project network is ending at this node number 5. Now TOTM are given. So if I want to calculate TE, what is the formula? 2 plus 4 times 5, that is 20. So 20 plus 2, 22 plus 14, that is 36. 36 divided by 6, that is 6 over here. And sigma value is TP minus T naught divided by 6. So 14 minus 2 divided by 6. So 12 by 6 is 2. And square of that is 4. So likewise, I have calculated this TE, sigma and V for all the activities. Okay, so just check it out. Okay, once I get this TE, I have written it on the bottom of the activities and calculated the square and the triangle brackets. Okay, so just copy this and do all. Okay, so you can see on the screen that I have formed the network. Square and the triangle brackets are to be calculated. So just check out if all the values are correct, and please note this down. Then we shall move on to the next part of the calculation. Okay, this is just the first part of the calculation, where you need to apply these three formulas and get this table done. This table will form the basis of this question. Okay, so just do it very quickly. Okay, then we shall move to the next part. Okay. Again, let me randomly check any one of that. Okay, so 6 plus 4 times 15, that is 60, 66, 96, 96 divided by 6, that is 16, 16. Okay, TP minus T naught, that is 30 minus 6, that is 24, 24 divided by 6, that is 4. Okay, and 4 square is 16. Okay, so I think all of these are correct. Okay, anyone checked? Or anyone is complete with this? Okay, now this 0 plus 6 is 6, 0 plus 12 is 12, so 6 plus 13 19, 12 plus 7, that is 12 plus 5, that is 17, so 19 is bigger. Okay, then 12 plus 16, that is 28, and 19 plus 4, that is 23. So this 28 is the duration of the project. Reverse calculation, 28, this is 24, 11, 12, and 0. Now just check the slack values. TP minus T naught, sorry, TL minus TE. Okay, square triangle bracket minus square bracket, it is coming 0 or not? Yes, in this one it is coming. Here it is not coming. Here also it is not coming. Here it is coming. Here it is coming. So that means 1, 3, 5 is the critical path. Which are the activities on that? B and F are the activities on the critical path. Okay, so this is how you have to solve this. Okay, so B dash F is the critical path of this project network. Okay, now one or two more things are remaining. Okay, but first of all you finish up to this. Okay, how to find out the critical path, I will repeat. Here there is no calculation of total float or the free float. Okay, so what do you require? You require the difference of the triangle bracket and the square bracket. Wherever you are getting that as 0, that is considered as a critical activity. Okay, so here in this one it is 0, in this one it is non-zero value, here non-zero value, here 0 value, and here 0 value. So 1, 3, 5 is the critical path. Okay, yes, TOTM TP value will be given in the question, otherwise you cannot solve it. Similarly, in case of CPM method, you will be given the TE value, that is the time value. Here TOTM TP value will be given, so from that you have to calculate the TE, that is the expected time, this column. If it is not given, this 3 is not given, then this has to be given, TE. Okay, so that you have to use it. But for the calculation of sigma and V, you require TO and TP. So again, it has to be given compulsorily. Okay. Now the next part is, okay, let's just check out we have calculated all or not. So draw the network, we have done. Standard deviation and variance and total duration also we have found out. Square bracket and triangle bracket for all the events also we have found out. Okay, this is remaining, variance and standard deviation for entire project. Now whenever you are calculating variance and standard deviation for the entire project, you have to check out only the critical path, because critical path is, you can say, summing up all the activities of the project network. So 135, that is BF, so this is the critical path. So check the variance values of B and F. So B is 9, F is 16. So 9 plus 16 is the variance along the critical path, or you can say variance of the entire project. Okay, so 9 plus 16, that is 25, and standard deviation is under root of that. Okay, so under root of 25 is 5. Okay, so any doubts over here? This is the simplest example. Okay, in critical in part method, there is one more thing that will be added from the next example, but today I wanted to just cover the basic stuff. Okay, so that is why I have covered the basic type of the example. Okay, so just check it out. If there is any doubt, just let me know. Okay, so I don't think there is any doubt over here. So let me just wind up over here because today we have done a lot of new things. Okay, so we'll stop over here. Okay, and we shall continue again in the next session. Okay, so just wait for 2 minutes. I'll take your attendance. Okay, so I have considered your attendance. Okay, so you can leave now. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Okay, we shall meet again in the next session. Thank you.